is a cutaway so you can see what the inside looks. This whole space in here would be filled with explosives, a TNT type explosive, okay? And this was a pressure detonator. And I'll show you how to set it. Okay, that's the interior. And this is what they call the K-gun. This part, this is welded here for our purposes, but this whole part actually fired. If you saw in the video, it fires and separates, okay? But you want to get this as far away from the ship as possible. So this is like a little cannon, all right? And they load it. The round would be here. Depending on how far you want it to go would determine how big of a load you put in, okay? So again, there would be somebody here with headphones listening to the captain telling you, the submarine is 200 yards, so that might determine what the charge is going to be on there, okay? No, this isn't. All right. So what you wanted to do, once it was loaded and ready to go and you had it set, you fire it off, okay? They would tell you how deep the submarine was. So hence the term depth charge, right? This is what you would set your depth with. Put on here. Okay, 50 feet.
Wow.
All right?
Okay.
100 feet, wherever you want it to go. And then when it reaches, that regulates the fuse inside. When it reaches that depth approximately, it's going to explode. Hopefully it's close enough to a submarine to do some damage.
Right.
Okay. Now because of the shape of these, they didn't sink very well. They had the weight to sink, but they had this edge on it and the general shape of it, they were slow to sink. A submarine could go down below depth in about 30 seconds. The smaller depth charges with 200 pounds of explosive sank twice as fast as these did. So again, you could set those, and again, everything was done manually. This thing is 300 pounds, one man that can lift it. You have a crane, everything manual. None of these were ever set until you're ready to fire them. You didn't want it set at 50 feet and then your ship goes down.
Right.
Because then your ship's going to be exploding.
Right.
All
Wow.
right, move aft a little bit. So you'll see these on both sides, the K guns and the depth charges.
Yeah.
This is the way they handle them. Everything manual.
So those were barrels.
What's that?
Those were the barrels, and these are the K guns.
I'm sorry.
Those are more like barrels over there.
Yes.
And that's more of these.
More aerodynamically designed.
So where did they keep those?
These would go straight down. Those would tumble. That's
Right.
why they would go slower.
Right.
We use those on the fantail. You see more of the barrel type ones.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
All right, we're going to go move back
Cool.
here. Similar 20 millimeters. So these were your barrel type. Again,
Gotcha.
300 pounds of explosive. You had to set the depth. Again, you never set them until you're ready to drop them in the water. And you had to be going about 15 knots before you dropped them. Because they go in the water and they're set for 50 feet, you're under the ship, you're going to blow yourself up. Okay? These were early eliminated because they weren't that effective.
Okay.
This was used for a fowler. It was a noisemaker. They towed it behind the ship. The U-boats had acoustic torpedoes. They would follow noise. So if they could get
Fake.
the U-boat to waste a couple of torpedoes,
Right.
torpedoes are expensive. I remember we had practice torpedoes on board. We used to send divers back to get them in the water
Really?
because they floated. But
Wow.
those practice torpedoes were $60,000 back in my day. They're probably $160,000 today. That was your fowler.